Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Young here, and today I'm back in another Fortnite video. And in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys some tips and tricks on how to win more solo games here in Chapter 2. And the gameplay I have in the background is an 18 kill game, so a very good game, especially for solo, so definitely stay to the end of the video. And before we get into the video, I have a V-Buck giveaway for Fortnite Chapter 2. If you guys want to be entered in this giveaway, all you guys have to do is to drop a like on this video, subscribe to my channel, make sure you guys turn on my post notifications so you guys can get notified for every single new video, and as well, leave a comment down below of your Xbox gamer tag, your PSN gamer tag, or Epic account, and you guys will be automatically entered into the giveaway. And real quick, if you guys want to support me as a creator in the item shop, my code is YoungHumor. So if you guys want to support me, definitely put in my code. It helps me out a ton. I definitely appreciate it. And alright guys, let's get right to the video. Alright, so here in this video, I wanted to be talking through and explaining to you guys exactly what I did in this game and just exactly what you guys can do as well when it comes to getting better and also winning at more solo games here in Fortnite. Because when it comes to improving in Fortnite, it can be a little bit difficult when it comes to just choosing what to work on, because there's just so many different things and so many different aspects of Fortnite to choose from when it comes to learning, that it can be a little bit difficult if you're not very specific. But in solos, there is a few particular things that are really important that you guys definitely need to focus on if you want to be able to improve and also get better here in Chapter 2. Because in Chapter 2, it is a little bit different than the previous seasons, as you guys know, when it comes to the mobility, also the way the map is. Of course, it's a completely different map, and also just the way the game's structured, definitely a lot different than in the previous seasons. So you do have to keep that in mind, also take that into account when you are looking to get better and improve here in this season. And here, since the Halloween stuff was in the game, I've been taking full advantage of going into the middle and picking up a crazy ton of loot. And of course, I know it's just the Halloween thing. Once it's over, it's not going to be like that. But of course, that leads me into another point, that any sort of change that they end up making to the game, they haven't really made anything too drastic. Of course, the zombies, I guess you say that that it could be a little bit drastic, but as soon as they do make changes, you can use those to your advantage, and you want to see exactly how you can use those new changes to give yourself the easiest possible chance to win. And an easy example of that is what I was just talking about. So since they had the Halloween stuff in the game, they had the zombies here in the middle. I'm not sure exactly what this lake is called, but here in the middle of the map, you have an area with a bunch of zombies, and once their spawners break, they drop a ton of loot. They drop scars, they drop pumps, P90, shield, they drop all that kind of good stuff. So you can use that to your advantage and pick up a ton of loot very easily. And that's one thing that you can use to your advantage. And of course, like I said, as soon as this event's over, it's going to go away. But of course, just constantly, as soon as they make changes to the game, using those changes to your advantage is going to help you guys win a lot more gunfights and also a lot more games much more easier, because you are going to get a lot of very good stuff, easy loot, all that kind of good stuff. And it's really something to take full advantage of. So as soon as the Halloween stuff is over, a lot of it's going to go back to normal. But of course, throughout the next couple months or so, or however long, of course, Epic is going to constantly keep making changes to the game that is going to be it could be pretty good, could be pretty bad, but you do have to just keep in mind that those changes could very much benefit you. And like the change that they added here in the Halloween season, that can give you a lot of free loot without having to do much effort at all. Just destroy a few of the crystals, you're gonna get completely stacked on gold scars, pumps, all that kind of good stuff. So using those advantages and just looking out for all the changes that they make to the game throughout the months can in alone give you a much easier chance of winning the game without really having to improve too much skill wise. It's just something that you have to just recognize and really just take advantage of. And so here in this game, and in this instance, I was getting shot. I was trying to fight this one guy for the longest time. I ended up getting third party by a couple of people near me. But one thing I did here is I had to play really slow. But like I said, I ended up dropping 18 kills in this game. But in this instance right here, I had to play very slow, because the guys that I was going against who are just a pain to play. Sometimes you're going to be running into really easy players, but also at the same time, you have to be prepared when you run into those really try-hard players, which happens time and time again. And when you are going against those players, you do have to understand that it is going to take a little bit more time when you're fighting them, because they're the type of players to just try as hard as possible, as much as possible. So you do have to take that into consideration when you are going against those try-hard players, because when you're going against an easy player, you can usually win the gunfight within like 10 seconds or so. You can win the gunfight very, very fast. But when you are playing against try-hard players, especially for myself, since I play on PC. I play controller with PC, obviously, because you guys see the controller on the screen. But I constantly run into players who just have 3,000 materials, box up, get a couple shots at them, box up again, and it super aids to deal with. And since people play like that, which is kind of unfortunate, it's really annoying. I wish people would just challenge me and rush me. But since they play so slow and sit in boxes like you see all the time, those gunfights understandably are just going to take longer to deal with, and you do have to keep in mind third parties and all that kind of good stuff. So that could be a downfall, and just something to look out for when you are going against those harder players, that the chance of you getting third party by other teams is going to go up a lot, and also you're going to burn through a lot of mats and a lot of heals much more quicker than if you're fighting someone who isn't as good, because even if they get a big shot on you, you can usually end the gunfight very fast, and you don't have to worry about burning through all of your heals and also burning through all of your mats on that one single fight. And so going into the end game here, and one thing that I've noticed, especially when I'm streaming, I don't know if it's just because I'm streaming, but one thing that I do notice, and this happened throughout the entire game, but I really do notice at the very end, because at the very end, and especially solo games, you have people who are going to be boxed up on hills, boxed up on higher points, so they're just going to play as slow as possible and be as toxic as they possibly can. So when you are at the end of the game, and like I said, specifically in solo games, you're going to be running into players who play like that, who just sit in boxes and sit back. And one thing that every single player that has in these situations in common is going to be a sniper rifle. Every single one has a sniper, so you have to be very, very cautious and be very aware that the people you are going against more than likely are going to have sniper rifles at the end of the game. So that's the number one thing you probably do have to look out for at the end of the game, is going to be getting sniped by these players who are just box campers, sitting up on their high ground like they did in season 2, where everyone just cranked up like 3 or 4 90s and just sat in it. And it's kind of like the same thing in this season. I see a lot of it now, people just cranking up like 3 or 4 90s, and then just sitting there with their assault rifles, sitting there with their sniper rifles, being very toxic. And I guess I can't really complain too much, because it works very well, because it gets me off guard. I get hit a lot with sniper rifles, and it's just something that I have to deal with. So just understand that at the end of the game, you are going to be getting shot by these players who are sitting on those high grounds. So you have to be very good at having a better position than the people you're going against, and also have a very good position in which you're not getting spammed by these guys constantly, sniped these players constantly, because these are the type of players that you definitely want to take out very fast. And if you ever have a choice to go for high ground on a player who is at the end of the game, it's always best that you try to go for that player first than the people on low ground, because if you go for everyone that's on low ground, what's going to happen? The guy on height, the guy in the box, is just going to be spamming at you with his assault rifle, going to be taking sniper shots, and it's just something that you have to deal with, which just makes the fight that you're in 10 times more complicated, because you're in a fight with the player or two that's in front of you, trying to deal with them, and then you have little Timmy in the back shooting you with his sniper rifle over and over again, and you just have to worry about it, because out of the 15-20 shots that he takes, eventually he's probably going to hit one of them, because he's not very accurate, but he will. If he shoots 20 shots, he'll eventually hit one of them. So you do have to be very cautious about that at the end of the game. So as long as you're aware of the play styles that other people play in solos, because solos people play a lot more passive than other game modes, so as long as you're aware of that, you will find ways to counter that and outplay and win a lot more games because of it. And with that being said, that's a wrap up for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys liked it, make sure you guys do drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, turn on my post notifications so you guys are notified for every single new video. And alright guys, I'll see you next video.